Okay. Here we go. First person is Rusli. Hi, Rusli or Rusli?
Rusli Ajahn.
Rusli, okay. From Indonesia.
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay. So you know I'm well, right? I'm alive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was the news about this monk, I think near to Wat Yan, not on the Sion, is it?
I see. Okay. Whatever you see or hear, don't believe it until you can prove it, okay?
Yeah, no, I don't believe it, Ajahn.
Okay. Any question today?
I don't have any questions for now.
Okay. Let me go to Gok Seng then. Gok Seng from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have no questions tonight. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Kek Yen So from Penang.
Good evening, Ajahn. No question today.
Okay. Vince Chua from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Okay. There's this question that I would like to ask about upeka. It seems like in sitting meditation, the upeka is more like very different, very like breathless kind of state, right? The blissfulness is different, but compared to open in the day upeka in motion, like the four Brahma Vihara, the upeka is more like contentment and satisfaction. So my question is, I'd like to understand more about this upeka and in different contexts.
Well, there is no different context. There's only one. So you just have to develop it through your meditation. This is the real ubeka. The other ones are not real. They are forced ubeka. You have to force yourself to be calm, to be still. But with ubeka from samadhi, your mind becomes still. So there's no need to force it.
Understand. And there's always a talk about this five things like mindfulness, investigation of Dhamma, concentration, upeka, and energy. Is there a progressive stage, or how can one explore more about this? Is there a balancing thing going through on these five things that everybody talks about?
Well, you first have to have samadhi. You have ubeka. Then you have the strength to contemplate and stop your defilement. So they are more or less step-by-step practice. First, you have to develop mindfulness before you can get into samadhi to get to ubeka. Once you have ubeka, you want to teach your mind the truth of all existing phenomena as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. And then when the defilement resists this truth, then you can tell it that if you resist, you only get dukkha. Okay. And if you have strong ubeka and you can see clearly the truth, then you can stop the defilement in its track, and it cannot produce dukkha for you because you don't resist the truth. You don't deny the truth. You accept the truth. You see people denying the truth. When somebody dies, they start crying. Say, why happened to this person? Why should he die? Why must he die? When the truth is staring in the eye, he's dead. What are you trying to do? The person still don't want to accept the truth. that's delusion. That's the lack of wisdom. But you keep teaching the mind all the time that everything will come to a cessation one day, sooner or later. When the thing comes into cessation, then there's no denial. There's just embracing the truth. Then there's no dukkha, no crying, no complaining. What do you get from crying and complaining? Nothing. You just only hurt yourself. And this is what you want to stop. You want to stop hurting yourself. You don't want to create dukkha in yourself. So this is what you need to have wisdom and upekkha to be able to embrace the truth. All right?
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Anura G from New Zealand.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, I have no questions, Ajahn. I'm happy to listen today. Yeah.
Must be late for you, huh?
So, just after 1. Yeah.
After 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
3 hours. Okay. You have to get up early tomorrow?
Yeah. I usually wake up around 6 o'clock. So
you won't have many hours to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I will have a couple of hours sleep. That's
you have
fine.
to go to work?
Yeah, I do work. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Billy, you're next. Billy from Indonesia.
Yes, good evening, Ajahn. I don't have any questions today. Thank you.
Okay. Claudia Schweiner from Germany.
Good afternoon from Germany, Ajahn. I don't have any questions today. Thank you for asking.
Kafai Lim from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Ajahn. Yeah, I have a question today regards to one of the 3 factors, the Silabata Paramamsa, attachment to rites and rituals. The question is, does attending a certain religious activities of different faith is considered as one of the attachments? Because sometimes by attending funeral or special ceremony of a different faith, somehow looks to me that it is one of these factors. What's your take on this, Ajahn?
I think the attachment to rites and ritual in the factor here is about trying to get rid of your bad feelings or getting rid of your problems. When you encounter problems like financial loss, and in the factor here is about trying to get rid of somebody turn off the window, getting rid of your problems.
All right.
When you encounter problems. Do you have your Facebook audio on?
Yes.
Please turn it off because it feeds back.
Okay.
Just listen on the Zoom. No, don't turn off your microphone. I mean, did you turn on the Facebook page?
No.
Okay, then there's no. See, when people in trouble and they don't know what to do, they go to fortune teller or go into some witch doctor and ask them how to get rid of your problem. So the fortune teller or your witch doctor will say, oh, you have to kill a chicken or you have to perform something to solve your problem.
Okay. Yeah.
But with a Sotapanna, he or she sees that the problem arises from his or her own defilement, the desire or the denial of the truth. The truth is anicca, things change. Things can change from good to bad. And when things change from good to bad, you feel bad because you don't want it to change. You want it to remain the same. You want it to be good all the time.
Okay.
So you feel bad, and you cannot prevent things from changing from good to bad. So you rely on somebody who will tell you to perform some ritual. See what I mean?
Yes, got it completely.
But with the Sotapanna, he and she just see the truth that things change, and you cannot prevent it or stop it. But you don't have to feel bad when things change. If you don't deny the changes, you just accept the change.
Yes.
So a Sotapanna doesn't have to go to perform any rites or ritual because he or she knows it's useless.
Yeah.
But he or she can make himself or herself feel okay, feel not bad by stopping the defilement, the desire to have things back to what it used to be before.
Yeah.
So this is what it means by the attachment to rites and ritual.
Okay.
People use it to solve their dukkha when they're not happy with something and they cannot do anything about it. Then they rely on some supernatural beings to help, by offering some offerings to the gods or whatever you believe in, so that the gods will then help make things better for you.
Yeah, truly understand.
Like in Thai Buddhism, people sometimes they are in some trouble, so they go to pay respect to the Buddha images in the shrine, or they go to pay respect to some respectable monks, and maybe do some dana charity, and then hope that this act will then cure their problem, fix their problem.
Yeah.
Maybe business is not going well, so you go to pray to the Buddha image, or you go to a monk and give him some charity, and hope that this act will then help make your business become better.
Yeah.
So this is Silapata Paramasa.
Oh, noted on the Ajahn.
But if you are Sotapanna, you know business can go up or can come down, right?
Yes.
And this is anicca, anatta. You cannot always control your business to be always prosperous, always profitable. Sometimes you have loss also. So a Sotapanna see this as normal thing in life and accept them. So a Sotapanna doesn't feel bad when the business go down, and he doesn't go and ask some supernatural beings to help make his or her business better.
Yes.
But he might figure out what's wrong with his business rationally and then try to fix it that way. If you can fix it, fine. If you cannot fix it, okay, it's okay. He's not gonna feel bad about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this is part of Sila Pata Paramasa.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Ajahn.
Next, Kenneth, professor from Switzerland. Greetings to you.
Hello, Tanajan.
Are you teaching today?
No teaching. This is the last week of the semester, so we're just moving into examinations.
Mm-hmm. This is the end of the year.
This is the end of the school year. Yeah.
School year, okay. So there is graduation afterwards, ceremony.
There should be for most people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And time for us to do some more practice. I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
And how long is your vacation? 2 months until September? August?
The next semester is middle of September, so actually it's about 3 months.
3 months, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You have any question today?
Yeah, Tanajan, I would like to just describe something in the practice. I've been looking at continuing to look at the different parts of the body and asking the question whether there's any self that I can see there. And for most parts of the body, for me, it's quite okay. If I look at the torso or the hands and the arms, the legs, and so on, it's fairly clear. But I still have sort of an attachment to the head, the brain, where I'm kind of still attached to the idea that the mind is located somewhere in this region. So that's what I'm working at. I just wondered if you could comment on that, Tanajan, how we can.
Yes, I think the reason why you feel that the mind is around the head region, that's because that's where all the receptors are located. See? Your eyes, your ears, your nose are all located on your head.
Yeah.
So when the mind sends the consciousness, the stream of consciousness to connect to this sensual objects, sensual organs. So it feels like the mind is somewhere around these parts of the body.
Mm. Because
You see with your eyes, you smell with your nose, you taste with your tongue, you hear with your ears. So they're all around your head, right?
Yeah.
So that's where it seems like the consciousness is located, but actually it's just connected there. The mind is like in a different planet, like in the moon. The mind resides on the moon and the body resides on this planet. And the mind just sends the stream of consciousness to connect to this body. And all the connectors are around the head. See? Eye, ears, nose, and tongue are all around the head. So it seems to you that this is where the mind is located. But no, this is where the mind is connected. The mind is not in the body, not in this world that the body exists. It's in another world we call the spiritual world. When you meditate, the mind will then withdraw the stream of consciousness back into the mind. Then the awareness of the body will disappear completely. And then all you have left is just the knowing, which is the intrinsic quality or characteristic of the mind. Okay.
Okay, that's very helpful, Ajahn.
Yeah, just a feeling that the mind is around the head region. But the head, they are receptor, like the eyes are like cameras, yeah. And the ears just like microphone that pick up the sound. The camera picks up the images, and the nose pick up the smell, and the tongue pick up the taste, and the body, the skin picks up the touch. So this is how it works between the mind and the body, how they connect. The body is sending the sensual objects for the mind to process and for the mind to consume. When the mind sees good images, it has good feelings arising. And then it has attachment, desire for this image to remain for as long as possible. And when it loses this image, then this good feeling disappears. And then the dukkha arising from the desire to have this feeling back will arise in place. So this is where we want to stop this desire for things to be permanent, to be always there. Because the truth is that they are not always there for you. They come and go. So you have to learn not to enjoy this sensual objects. Because the moment you do, you become attached, like an addiction. You must have it all the time. And when you don't have it, then you suffer. You feel bad. You feel blue. You feel lonely. You feel sad. You feel restless, and so forth. That's why we have to replace this pleasure with meditation. When we meditate, we have another type of happiness. The happiness from calm of the mind. Then we can use this to keep the mind happy. Then the mind doesn't need the sensual objects to make it happy anymore. If it does, then you teach the mind to relinquish, to let go, by seeing the impermanent nature of these objects. That when you have them, it's fine, but when you lose them, it's going to cause you sadness, cause you suffering. But this is what we do here. First, try to build up a happiness replacement, a new kind of happiness by meditation to get your mind into jhana. Once you have this happiness from jhana, then you can teach your mind to let go of the sensual objects that it used to cling on to, because they are impermanent. They're not always there for you. Sooner or later, they will be gone, and you will suffer. But if you don't rely on them to make you happy, when they are gone, they won't make you sad. Because you can be happy with your mind in a state of calm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Thank you.
As far as looking at the body, you can look at a total picture, how the body is formed by the four elements, by food in the stomach of your mother, in the womb, the blood that feeds the fetus. And the fetus eventually grow gradually and build up the 32 parts. And when it's ejected from the womb, it continues on taking in food, taking in the four elements. It breathes, it drinks water, it takes in solid food, which are the earth element, and it takes in the heat from the heater or from the sun to keep it alive, to keep it warm. And eventually, when it dies, then all these four elements will separate. So look at it as elements. So there is no self in the body. They are just parts built up by the four elements, made from the four elements, combination of the four elements. The mind just happened to come into connection with the body through the consciousness, the five consciousness. And then the mind used the thought to command the body, to tell the body what to do, to stand up, to walk, to run, to do things. This is the mind part, not the body. The body has to wait for the mind to give the command. Before you can give up, you have to think first, oh, I have to get up. Oh, I have to stand. I have to walk. I have to go to the toilet. The body waits for the command from the mind, from the thoughts. So these are how the mind and body function or work together. But when things happen to the body, it doesn't happen to the mind. Because the mind is far away in another world, in another planet. like the probe you send into space. The controller is on this earth, but the spacecraft is in the space or on another planet. Anything happens to the spacecraft or the probe doesn't hurt the controller. Same way, anything that happens to the body doesn't hurt the mind. It stops in the body. Everything stops in the body. Doesn't go to the mind. So once you know this, then you can be quite not afraid of losing your body, because you're not losing yourself when you lose your body. The mind doesn't die with the body. With this knowledge, then you want to prove it to yourself whether you truly see it as it is or not, by maybe exposing the body to some form of danger, go to a dangerous place, and to see how the mind reacts. If the mind truly sees that the body is not the mind, then the mind will not be afraid, will not have any feeling of worry or fear. Just remain calm and ready to let the body be whatever it's going to be. If it's going to die or it's going to be hurt by some animals or something. Then you know that you have separated the mind from the body permanently with vipassana or insight or wisdom. When you meditate, you separate the body from the mind from the body temporarily by mindfulness. When you recite mantra or focus on your breath, then the stream of consciousness and the thinking will stop functioning. Then the body and the mind become separated temporarily. But as soon as you restart your thinking, then the consciousness reconnect with your body again. And then your delusion will then tell the mind that the body is you again. So this is when you have to teach your mind that the body is not you. And be willing to let go of your body, because when you let go of your mind will be calm and will not be disturbed by whatever happens to your body. If you cling to your body, thinking that you are the body, then anything happens to the body will cause the mind to be disturbed, to be hurt by the hurting of the body. Okay, this is what you want to try to teach your mind. That the mind is not the body. And whatever happens to the body doesn't happen to the mind.
Okay.
In order to do this, you need to have a calm mind. You have to have samadhi. You have to have ubekha. And then you know that you can exist without the body. You can be happy without the body. Then you can teach the mind that the body, you don't have to rely on the body. And you're going to have to lose the body one day anyway. So with no desire, with no attachment to the body, then whatever happens to the body will not disturb the mind, will not hurt the mind. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much for that teaching, Ajahn. Thank you.
Is that all for you today?
That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay. Alvin, you're next. The person on the corner there, I think you have to put down your hand, because we go by the queue. I'm sorry. When you put in your hands up, then you go up on the corner there. So you'll be the last one to be recognized, because I go next on the according to the screen. Okay, so I'm sorry, you just have to wait. Alvin, you're next from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. Tanajan, I'm just curious on this lineage that the Thai tradition have between Mahanikaya and Dhammayuttika. What is the main difference, Tanajan? If you can explain.
The main difference is first the keeping of the monks' monastic code. The Mahanikaya wasn't very strict, and some of the rule has been relaxed, like keeping money, receiving money and keeping the money and using the money like a lay person. With the Dhammayut, we cannot keep the money, we cannot use the money ourselves. We have to rely on a proxy, someone to handle the money for us. So this is one. Another thing is some of the interpretation of some of the items that we consider to be food and not to be food. Like milk. Milk is considered by Dhammayut to be in the food category. By the Mahanikaya considered to be not to be food, to be considered to be medicine that you can take after midday. And also the amount of devotion to the practice of the Dhutanga and the Kammatthana. The Dhammayut are more devoted to this practice of meditation and maintaining the monastic code strictly, and not get involved with other non-essential activity for monks, like performing rituals, chanting, going to people's invitation, accepting people's invitation to go to their houses to eat and to chant and to make people happy. Most Dhammayut, at least in the old days, concentrated more on the study, practice for the purpose of enlightenment. But nowadays, the Dhammayut and the Mahanikaya almost some Dhammayut and some Mahanikaya are similar, and some Mahanikaya and some Dhammayut also are more keen on studying and practicing for enlightenment. Like Ajahn Chah belongs to the Mahanikaya tradition, while Ajahn Man and Ajahn Mungta Mahabua belongs to the Dhammayut tradition. But they do the same type of practice. They study and they practice for the purpose of enlightenment, not for the purpose of pleasing the lay people. Like lay people ask you to help them go to the house to chase away the spirit, or go do some chanting or do things like that. The main duty of monks first is to study, then to practice. Then after enlightenment, then become a teacher, teaching Dhamma, not performing rituals, like giving holy water. Some monks even perform bathing for the lay people, using holy water to bathe, because this will make it auspicious. This will make life better for lay people. So this is basically the difference. The Dhammayut is more inclined for study, practice, and enlightenment, and teaching the Dhamma. See, the Dhammayut came about after the reign of Rama IV, I think. Before. It was Rama IV before he became king. He was a prince and he ordained. And before he ordained, he studied the scriptures. And he sees that the monks in his days were not strict, not following the teaching of the Buddha. They're not practicing meditation. They do just chanting and then they perform rituals and do other extracurricular activities like being a fortune teller, playing chess, do all sort of not suitable activity for monks to do. So he had no faith in this monk. But if he discovered there's a small group of monks from Burma, I think, who are very, very strict with the original tradition of the Buddha, study for practice and then practice for enlightenment and then teach the Dhamma. So he ordained with these people, this monk from Burma, I think, following the Burmese tradition. And then they become a small group, and eventually people start to see the difference and start to be more attracted to the Dhamma Youth sect. But the Dhamma Youth is still 1/10 of the Mahanikaya sect in Thailand. Okay, this is briefly the difference.
Because I read Ajahn Man actually told some of his students to remain in Mahanikaya, like Ajahn
Cha.
Ajahn Thongrat, Ajahn Cha.
Yeah, they want to join him because they want to follow the strict path of practice. But he said that if everybody comes to join the Dhamma Youth, there won't be any good monk left in the Mahanikaya. So he told him you can practice and still remain in the Mahanikaya. You can still follow strictly the monastic code and practice and study. So Ajahn Chah then switch to Dhamma Youth. So now we have the Ajahn Chah's tradition, which is considered very strict, maybe stricter than some of the Dhamma Youth monks.
So normally Mahanikaya, those strict Mahanikaya, those Mahanikaya monks that would practice Tanga strictly would be able to go and live in the Dhamma Youth monastery, right? Because I was told it's very difficult from two different.
It depends on the Dhamma Youth, whether they know whether these monks are strict or not strict. So we normally, when we have monks, even whether they are Dhamma Youth or not, we ask them to stay on a temporary basis first to see if they can practice like we do. If they can, then we will allow them to stay with us. But according to the monastic code, since we are different sect, we follow different intensity of the monastic code. We cannot perform what we call community services together, like listening to the Patimokkha together, or attending a ordination ceremony. But these are minor things. But if you really stick to the forest tradition, then you don't really do much of this activity anyway, like ordination and do chanting together, like going to people's house for invitation. But because most forest tradition monks will just go in the forest and live in seclusion, they only come out for alms round. So it depends on the Dhamma Youth monk and the Mahanikaya monk, if they see eye to eye or not. If they see eye to eye, then they can stay together. But normally they try to not stay together because there are some other monks who might not understand, and they are dogmatic. They stick to the dogma. If you have Dhamma, you cannot live with the Mahanikaya, for example. But if you look at the pragmatic side, if both practice the same thing, observe the same monastic code, then they should be able to live together and do things together. But according to the rules, they are considered different sects, different traditions, so they cannot do things together. So this is okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Philip Lim and Adeline from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I have a question with regards to last week's question, which abandoning of the 10 factors. You mentioned there are the lower factors to be abandoned and the higher factors to be abandoned. Do all these factors, when they have been abandoned, appear at the fourth jhana stage, or the higher factors you need to go into deeper jhanas? That's my question.
Oh, you don't need to go to the higher jhana. You need just the fourth jhana to give you the strength to be able to let go of your attachment and your defilement. You need ubekha. When wisdom tells you to stop, then you can stop. But if you don't have ubekha, when wisdom tells you to stop, you won't stop. Like lay people, they don't have ubekha. They know drinking is bad. But when they have the desire to drink, they cannot stop. Or smoking, or committing adultery, They know it's bad, it's breaking the precept. But if they don't have ubekha, they cannot stop. But if you have ubekha, you will stop. And you have wisdom to see that doing this thing will hurt you more than make you happy. You might have a little bit happiness at first, but then you will have problem coming after you. And so if you have ubekha and rationality and wisdom, then you say, oh, it's better not to break the precept. It's not to do anything your defilement asks you to do. But if you don't have ubekha, you cannot stop your mind from doing what your desire asks you to do. Even though you know that it will cause you dukkha later on. But we say right now there's no dukkha, there's only sukha for you. Worry about the dukkha later on.
Okay. But my next question is, I'm actually reading your book, Essential Teaching, the last chapter. This is also regarding to the factors. There's one paragraph there is there's a word called udacha, is the restlessness of a very subtle mental stage, which is different from the much coarser kind of the five hindrances. Could you explain that a bit more? Because I've been reading this chapter a few times, and what do you mean by subtle restlessness in the mental state?
It means that this restlessness arising from the mind's desire to be liberated from dukkha, from suffering. So it keeps on contemplating, keep on investigating, looking for defilements inside the mind, and to the point where it becomes restless because it doesn't take any rest. So, and by being overworking, instead of seeing things clearly, it doesn't see things clearly. So this becomes a fetter when you work too hard to become enlightened. So you have to strike a balance between resting your mind and working. So after you do some investigation and contemplation, and you start to realize that your mind becomes restless, then you should stop and go into samadhi, go back into jhana first to get ubekha back. Once you rest in samadhi, then you can come out and then continue on with your investigation to see the truth of anicca, dukkha, anatta that you still don't see in parts of the mind itself. So this is the higher type of restlessness, more subtle type of restlessness. It's not because of your your sensual cravings that drives you to be restless. But this is your desire to become fully enlightened. You're halfway there now, so you only need to somehow study the nature of the mind, understand it, and then let go of it. So you need to do a lot of working to study the nature of the mind. And sometimes you overdo it, then your mind becomes restless. So you have to then stop, take a break, or take a rest in samadhi, in jhana. And after you come out, your mind become more or less more calm and more rational. So you can see things clearer, better, and understand the nature of the mind better as you try to look at the mind, look at the four nama khandas, see how they work, so forth. So this is what for some people they might have this one. It doesn't mean everybody has to have this. Some of the fetters, if you heard this thing before, so when you come to this point, you know that you have to be careful not to overdo your contemplations. But if you never heard of this thing before, then you might usually end up overdoing your work because your desire, you want to finish your job, so you want to investigate, look for the defilement, which one is causing you dukkha, and so forth. So sometimes you overdo and your mind becomes restless and non-productive. So you have to stop and rest the mind. This is a long way for you. So just worry about the lower utthaja, the ones in the 5 hindrances. This is restlessness and agitation due to your mind keep worrying about things or have anxiety and worry. This is the lower utthaja, restlessness and agitation. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Next, Jolyn Tay from Singapore. Am I right?
Yes, good evening, Ajahn. No question today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then we go to Belinda then. Belinda from Singapore.
Okay, Ajahn.
Any question today? Yes? Speechless.
No question, Ajahn.
No question. Maybe later. Okay. How about Pasana? Pasana, how about you? Any question today?
I want to thank you, teacher, because your suggestion last Tuesday about the to reduce the taste of the food. So I practice. I have 1 meal per day, and can eat dislike. I wonder that I can eat disliked food. It's like a normal. So I think it's okay. It's okay. I can achieve it. So I will do this through this month. So I only want to thank you.
Yeah, the benefits of eating the food you don't like is you don't overeat.
Yes.
You don't enjoy it as much as you don't like the food you eat, and it will make you have no problem with eating because you can eat anything.
So surprise teacher, because I think I eat my undelicious food, dislike food, but I can eat it. If the past 2 or 3 months, I think I can eat like this. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay for me. Thank you very much.
You should eat the food like you take medicine, not for enjoyment, but for curing your sickness. Your sickness is hunger. So you just take any kind of food that can stop your hunger. So you don't need to eat the food that you like because it becomes defilement, kama chanta, enjoyment of the sensual objects of the food. So you don't want to eat for enjoyment. You want to eat for maintaining life, maintaining the body, like medicine. This way then you will not be attached to food. See? So when you don't have, sometimes you cannot eat, you won't feel terrible, you won't feel bad. Or if you have to eat the food that you don't like, you can do it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Forrest Tom, last week you came in, but you didn't have a chance to ask questions. Huh? Did you go out?
Hi, Tanajan. Yeah, I was on vacation last week, so I left early, but I don't have any questions this week. I just started doing a meditation retreat at home by myself. So I'm doing that for 10 days.
At home, retreat at home?
Yes, in my apartment.
Okay. How is it going? Good?
Yeah, it's going well. My mind is gradually becoming calmer, but my mindfulness is still pretty weak. So just trying to keep the mindfulness going all day.
You mean you're not doing anything not essential? You only do essential thing only.
Yeah, like
Sitting,
walking, chanting.
Okay, eating and drinking, but don't do any kind of other work.
Exactly.
Try to clear your mind, stop your mind from thinking, and keep it merely knowing as much as possible, and meditate as much as possible. So you find that in this way you can make your mind calmer.
Yeah, so far, but it's only my third day, so it's still pretty early.
It's still restless. The mind is still restless.
Restless or sleepy, or thinking about.
Still wants to do this and want to do that, like it used to do.
Yeah, but gradually less. So.
Yeah. You see this hindrance, restlessness, when you force yourself not to do anything.
Yeah.
Then you'll find yourself becoming restless because you used to do things all the time.
Yeah.
Try to sit on the chair for 3 or 4 hours and don't go and do anything. If you feel tired, you can stand up by your chair. And then after you feel tired of standing, then sit in the chair, but don't go anywhere. Don't leave the chair for 3 or 4 hours. And you can see the restlessness coming up inside your mind. Because you're used to go here, go there, to sit here, to go there, to do this and to do that.
Yeah.
So when you're forcing your mind to stay in one place, then you start to see the restlessness and agitation coming up inside your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a good way for you to then you will then have the work to do. Oh, I have to calm my mind, so I have to use a mantra or concentrate on my breath or something to calm your restlessness and agitation. If you don't force yourself to be in one place, then the restlessness will elude you because it won't come up, because as soon as you feel restless, you do something else, move from here to there, come from there to here again. So if you want to instigate your restlessness, then force yourself to be in one place.
Okay, I've never tried that before, but maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, sit on a chair. You don't want to cause any painful feeling for your body at this stage. You just want to deal with your restlessness and agitation.
Mm-hmm.
To calm your restlessness and agitation, when it comes up, by using the mantra, or by reciting, by chanting, or by watching your breath. Don't use any other external thing. Don't read books. Don't listen to Dhamma talk. Anything. Just use your mental faculty to deal with your restlessness and agitation.
Mm-hmm.
Try it now, since you're on a retreat now. I say, let's sit for 4 hours. Let's see how. Let's stay here on this chair for 4 hours. If it's painful at my buttock, you can stand up to release. And you can stand until you feel tired of standing, then you sit again. But don't go away from the chair. Maybe except if you have to go to the toilet. But other than that, get a bottle of water next to you. So if you feel thirsty, you can drink. You don't have no excuse to move from the chair.
Okay.
Trying to cut out all the excuses for you to move from the chair.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'll let you know next week how it goes.
See how you rest, how do you deal with your restlessness and agitation.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you succeed. If you succeed, then you won't have any problem with restlessness and agitation in the future.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Tanajan.
All right. Next, Henny. Henny, where are you from? Unmute your microphone, please. Okay, you can speak now.
Okay.
Good evening,
Tanajan. We are from Indonesia.
Yes.
We are Siddhartha and Phyllis parents.
I see.
We just come to greet and pay respect to you. Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, happy to see you again. I hope you're well.
Thank you, Tanajan.
All right.
All right.
Sadhu.
You plan to come to Thailand again sometime?
Sometime. Okay.
Okay, maybe. All right.
Maybe.
Okay, when the virus is gone first, when it's safe to travel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But it's good to see you both.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Okay, your son is next, Siddhartha.
Yeah. Siddhartha.
Any question?
No, I don't have any question. I'm just listening.
Okay. Then let me go to Alfredo from Brazil. Alfredo?
Hi, Bante.
Must be cold for you. You're putting on a hat.
Yes, July and August is very, very cold in forest. I live in forest in Cotia, São Paulo, Brazil. Very cold.
Very cold.
July and August. September is more cool.
What's the temperature now?
I think 18 or 19 or 70.
Celsius.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a commentary, Bante.
Okay.
In Samyojanas have Silabata Paramasa after Vichikicha, the doubt. Any teachers say that the doubt is about Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha teachings.
Yes.
I think the doubt is very difficult, Samyojana, because the doubt about things is difficult to know. No? Buddha Buddha know that the things, because he have for jhana, he have pekka, he have apana samadhi. His apana samadhi is perfect. But other peoples not have apana samadhi perfect, to know the things, to know past lives, to know about what is good to a person. The doubt in Samyojana is about only teachings or about all things in life?
I think more about the Four Noble Truths, the Four Noble Truths, yeah, and the three characteristics of existence.
Yes.
Yeah, it covers everything. All life are anicca, dukkha, anatta. All things are anicca, dukkha, anatta. So it covers everything, but in the light of anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Yes.
So once you see the truth, you know the cause of your dukkha is your own desire. So you try to get rid of your desire as soon as they come up, because as soon as you have desire, your mind will start to feel bad right away.
Yes.
So the desire that you have to get rid of first is your desire to not get old, get sick, and die. So this is the what you call sakaya ditti, the desire.
Yes.
You still don't see that getting old, getting sick, and die is the truth. Everybody still wants to not get old, get sick, and die, although they know that they cannot prevent from themselves from getting old, getting sick, and die. So you have to teach your mind that getting old, getting sick, and die is part of life. You cannot prevent it from happening. You just have to accept it. Once you accept it, then you have no dukkha when you get old, when you get sick, or you die. So when you see this, you see the Four Noble Truths from this, because you see that your desire is causing you dukkha, and your wisdom will tell you that you cannot have this craving, this desire for not getting old, getting sick, and die. So when you stop stop your desire, then your dukkha will disappear. Then you understand the Four Noble Truths. You see the Four Noble Truths. So you know that the Four Noble Truths is the real the truth that the Buddha had discovered. So you know that's the Buddha because you see his teaching manifest in your mind. So you will become the noble disciple. See? So you have no doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, or Sangha from that point onward.
Yes, the same feeling of upekkha. Né? The feeling of upekkha is perfect. It's not problem. It's not body.
Yeah,
not body problems.
But upekkha from mindfulness is temporary. When you lose your mindfulness, your upekkha will disappear, and your dukkha can arise. But with wisdom, it cannot arise because wisdom get rid of the desire that caused the dukkha to arise. Not suppressed like mindfulness. Mindfulness just suppress the desire, but not getting rid of the desire. But with wisdom, you get rid of your desire permanently. So you have upekkha permanently.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Keep warm, okay?
Yes.
It's hot in my room. It's cold in your room. What a world we live in.
My heart is hot. My body is cool, but my heart is hot.
Okay, good. All right, next, Kyuyan Dong from London. Kyuyan. How do you pronounce your name?
Nguyen is correct.
Correct, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have questions today, but just last week, your simple answer to I don't remember who about Itipiso meaning of the Buddha's quality.
Yes.
And your simple answer, just don't learn it. You just need to know that there is Buddha and there is his teaching, and it's worth like following. Only that could make me cry. Actually, like my mind went calm quite a bit, but it couldn't go down because I was worrying that you would call my name. So I'm not sure next time. You don't know when it's going to happen. Re-listening to it is totally different. It doesn't make such an impact. Is it possible for me to next time just not to be on video? If I have a question, I could turn it on and ask.
Definitely, everybody can turn off the video if you don't want to join the conversation. You just want to listen. You can just turn off the videos.
Right. I think it's one has to pay a lot to realize that such a simple thing is so precious.
Yes. I think it's like having what you call a strand of hair covering your eyes. You know, your strand of hair can cover the mountain if it's placed in front of your eyes. So our delusion sometimes make us not seeing things clearly. You know? And sometimes when somebody remove that delusion from your mind, then you can see things very clearly, suddenly. Like listening to Dhamma talk. That's why some people, after listening to the Buddha's talk, they became enlightened. Because the Buddha just tell them the real thing, which is simple things, which we try to make it so complicated. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Then let me go to Sri and check from Vancouver. Greetings.
Yeah, good evening, Tanajan.
Anything? Any question?
Simple strand of hair can cover the mountain, Ajahn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a Thai proverb.
Yeah. Thai proverb. Yeah, really, yeah, so many good, really brilliant teaching, Ajahn. So much. Yeah, thank you. I really like the latest post, not latest, but like a few days ago about somebody talking about Four Noble Truths in the mind in
real time.
Yeah, and the way you deal with the dukkha is to get rid of the cause of it, which is craving. And then you said that if you start to do this, you're generating the magga, the fourth truth. So, like, for example, you were saying like, let's say we want coffee in the morning, and then we realize that, and you can't get coffee, so I start to have dukkha. We usually will push to try to get the coffee, but if I can see that it's the craving that causing the dukkha, and I stop it and just drink water, the dukkha is gone. It's starting to generate the magga. Is that
you change your mind? Once you change your mind, you stop your cravings. Well, if I cannot have coffee, then forget about it.
Yeah.
I'll have something else. So, because you know you cannot have it anyway, right? So I try to insist, but people sometimes insist. So if they don't have it, they go outside of the house and buy one.
Yeah.
But this gives them restless and agitated all the time, waiting for this coffee. And
so Ajahn, is the change. Sorry, Ajahn.
Just change your mind means to to stop your craving. When you change your mind, you automatically stop your cravings.
Right. So Ajahn, is the changing of the mind is the generating of the magga?
No, the seeing that there's no coffee. So why suffer? It's anicca. Coffee is impermanent. Sometimes you have coffee, sometimes you don't have coffee. So if there's no coffee, then accept it. Accept the truth. Okay, there's no coffee. So you change your mind from the desire to have coffee to, okay, not having coffee.
I guess I'm trying to understand the last part, Ajahn. Like you say about generating the magga. I guess I'm trying to understand where is that, like
Wisdom. You look at coffee as being anicca, dukkha, anatta.
Oh, the wisdom.
And mindfulness and ubekha. You have to have enough ubekha. Once wisdom tell you that coffee is anicca and it's happening right now in real time. It's gone. There's no coffee there for you to drink. So if you insist on having it, you will get dukkha, right?
Yeah.
But if you see that, okay, if your dukkha arises from your insistence of having coffee, so you just stop your mind from insisting to have that coffee, because it's not there anymore for you to have. We keep insisting on things that already passed away, right? Sometimes you lose your loved one and you still want them to come back. Or you moan and groan about why do they have to die? Why do they have to go? This is like not accepting the truth of anicca. If you accept the truth of anicca, then you don't complain, you don't deny. You just accept, okay, no coffee, okay, no desire then. If there's no coffee to drink, then there's no desire to drink the coffee. When there's no desire to drink the coffee, then dukkha will disappear. But if the desire for coffee is still there, then the dukkha will drive you crazy, right? Sometimes you just have to, you cannot endure the dukkha, so you have to run around and look for coffee. But then you will run into the next cycle again when you run out of coffee again. But once you stop your desire for drinking coffee, then you solve your problem once and for all. Then you don't need to have coffee.
Right.
So you have to stop your desire for coffee. Not maintain your desire for coffee, not satisfy your desire for coffee by providing more coffee for your desire. And you have to keep on getting more coffee all the time. And sooner or later you won't be able to drink coffee, then what happens? Then you have dukkha.
Yeah, I think that's really clear. Thank you.
So you have to see anicca, dukkha, anatta in the coffee, in the things that you desire for. Eventually, sooner or later, you won't be able to get what you want. And when that happens, then you will feel miserable. Like nowadays, people have mental issues because they cannot get out of the house to do things that they used to do. But if they just change their mind, okay, if I cannot go out of the house, I stay in the house and be happy staying in the house, and there won't be any problem. Just stop the desire to get out of the house, that's all. But you cannot stop because you don't have mindfulness. You don't have ubekha to stop it. So. But if you know how to meditate, then no problem. If you cannot get out of the house, you just meditate. Use mindfulness to stop your desire. When the mind becomes calm, your desire stops, and then you have peace and happiness. Then you say, hey, I can be happy without having to go outside of the house. I can be happy locked up in the house. But people don't realize that. They only think that happiness is outside the house. And when they cannot get out of the house, they feel miserable. This is dukkha, arising from the desire to get out of the house. But if they know how to meditate, they can stop the desire, calm the mind. And once the mind becomes calm, the dukkha disappears, the misery disappears, and replacing the misery is happiness, peace, ubekha. Okay.
Yes.
This is Magga. We are talking about Magga.
Mm.
We're talking about mindfulness, wisdom, ubekha, samadhi. This is all the tool the Magga is the tool that we have to have in order to stop our craving, our desire.
Yeah.
Without this tool, we don't have the strength to stop our cravings.
Mm.
People have mental issues because they don't have these tools to deal with their cravings, their desire. But if you have this tool, then there will be no mental issue, no mental problem, no dukkha. When you talk about mental problem, it's dukkha, right? Mental bad feeling inside the mind.
Mm.
So you need to develop magga. Before you can have wisdom, you need to have samadhi to support it. Before you can have samadhi, you have to have the sila, the precept, to support your practice of samadhi.
Mm.
Before you can practice samadhi, you have to be charitable, not greedy for money.
Mm.
If you're greedy for money, you won't have time to keep the precept and to meditate.
Mm.
But if you're charitable, then you're not greedy for money. You're happy just have enough to eat, have enough to exist. Then you have more time to keep the precepts and practice your meditation practice. So this is the magga. So you have to start from scratch, which is stop your greed for money. Start because you want money, so you can then buy things to please your defilements.
Mm.
Then you won't have time to go and meditate, to keep the 8 precepts. But if you say, I just want to earn enough money just to live, just to pay for my rent, pay for my food, then you don't have to work too much. And if you have extra money, if you don't need it, give it to people, help other people, it will make you feel good. It will also stop your greed for money. So you need to practice charity to get rid of your greed for money or your attachment to money or your dependence on using the money to make you happy. Once you can get rid of your greed for money or your dependence on money by giving money away, and try to live as little money as possible.
Mm.
Then you don't have to work too much. Then you will have spare time to go to practice, to meditate. But if you're still involved of getting money and spending the money, then you won't have time to go meditate.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Really brilliant. Thank you, Ajahn.
No question from you? Check, Sri.
Ajahn, like my question is that after I meditate for a period of time, and like this Vedana, like painful feelings coming out, I know I can walk, it will goes away, but sometimes should we just sit and face it?
Well, that's up to you. If you want to overcome this painful feeling, then you have to continue sitting and calm your mind, because once your mind becomes calm, it can take this painful feeling without any qualm, without any problem. It's the problem is your mind is restless and agitated, so it cannot take this painful feeling. It wants to run away.
Yeah.
But if you force it to sit and calm, once it becomes calm, then the painful feeling will not bother the mind. So if you want to eventually be able to to live with your painful feeling, then you need to continue on training yourself to keep your mind calm, so that you can then live with your painful feeling without being disturbed.
Okay. Instead of like walk meditation, right? Instead of doing walk.
If you switch, then you're running away from your painful feeling. And after you walk for a while, you have painful feeling from walking, then you come back and sit again.
Yeah.
So you keep running away from your painful feelings. The goal is not to run away. The goal is to embrace your painful feeling.
Love it.
Love it. Once you love something, it's okay, right? You enjoy it. That's why we have some sadistic people. They love pain. And they enjoy it.
But that's not good, right, Ajahn?
That's not good because it's still delusional. Yeah. Okay, let me go to somebody else.
Thank you,
Let me
Ajahn.
wait for the next round. Lisan from Singapore, you're next.
Oh, good evening, Ajahn.
Any question?
Yes, I just have one question. My question is, as a good Buddhist and a good child, what should we do when our parents are in their old age in general? As in, what can we do so that they live their old age happily, and especially for me who stays far from parents. And that's all my question.
You have to support them. If they need something, then you have to provide them for that. Usually the 4 basic necessities of life: food, shelter, clothing, and medicine. This is your duty to look out. If they cannot provide for themselves, then it's your duty to provide them with these things, like they did for you when you were younger, when you were a child. They look after you. So now they become a child and you become like their parents. So you have to look after them like you look after your children.
But what if they can afford, as in the 4 basic needs, they have all that as in they have all already. So is there anything else that a child can do?
Yes, you just try to see what makes them happy. If visiting them make them happy, then you go visit them. If bringing some gifts to them make them happy, then you bring gifts to them. Try to make them happy. If take them out to dinner or take them out to some activity, to do some activity, make them happy, then you do that. If they already have the 4 basic necessity of life, maybe they are lonely. Maybe you should visit them. Bring your children, your family to visit them often, to keep them to make them happy.
Or accompany them
Yeah.
when they feel lonely.
Yeah. Or do anything to make them happy.
Oh.
Not visiting them and then start quarrel with them, which is now many people do. When they are away from each other, they really miss each other. But when they start to visiting, after 1 hour, they start quarreling.
Yes,
They start complaining already. Oh. So you have to be patient when you visit them, and they start complaining, oh, this and that. You just have to be patient. Use ubeka, just listen. Don't try to get into any quarrel with them. Let them complain all they want.
Okay. Okay, understand.
Because your purpose is to make them happy, right? You don't want to make them angry.
Yes.
Right.
Likewise, if the children who stay near the parents, because when stay near it, the tend to quarrel more stay far, right?
In order to prevent from quarreling, you have to put yourself like a servant. Think of yourself as the servant. So once you're the servant, then you don't have any. You cannot argue with them. You just take their command. So you have to consider yourself their servant. Then everything will be fine. But sometimes you consider yourself their masters. Then that's when the problem starts. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You must not do that to your parents. You're the servant. You're waiting for your master to tell you what to do. You're not the master. Okay? This way you can live with them and they will be happy, they will love you. You'll make them happy because you never tell them what to do. You always wait for them to tell you what to do. And you serve them. I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to tell you what to do, how to run your life. Okay. Sometimes people look up to the parent and they become the master. Oh, you have to do this. You have to drink this. You should not eat this. You should not eat that. This makes them angry. This makes them unhappy. They become a servant. They become a slave to you.
So it should be the other way around.
That's right.
In fact, we have to provide. If let's say they cannot eat something, then we have to provide those that they can eat.
That's right. Even if the doctor says they should not eat, but if that's what they want to eat, let them eat. Make them happy. Because then they're gonna live not many more years left anyway. Why make their life miserable eating something that they don't like? Let them eat what they like, as long as they're happy. Then you won't have any argument with them. See? What usually an argument comes when they want to do something and the doctor tells them that they cannot do it. And then you keep reminding them of this. Then they get angry at you because they won't be able to do what they want to do.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Understand.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Ibi, you're next from Indonesia.
Good evening, Ajahn. Can Ajahn hear me?
Yes.
Ajahn, I want to know what the difference in sati, vitaka, and vichara.
Vitaka and vichara.
And sati. And sati.
Sati.
Sati, vitaka, vichara. What the difference of these three things?
Well, according to my understanding, vitaka is to, like when you are watching your breath. Watching your breath is vitaka. Okay. And vichara means knowing whether your breath is in or out.
And sati?
Sati is to be aware of what's going on.
Of the breath? Be aware of the breath or
of the breath in general. But vitaka and vichara is more specific. To know the breath is vitaka. To know that the breath comes in is vichara. Comes in or goes out is vichara.
And know the environment is sati.
Yeah, just to have the awareness of things around you is sati, mindfulness.
So when I read Itipiso, every time I read Itipiso, I try to read very good. Yeah. That is sati.
You have vitaka, vichara. Knowing that you are chanting is vitaka. Knowing what you are chanting is vichara.
And sati
Sati is just a common term for vitaka and vichara together.
Sati is the same with vitaka vichara.
Sati consists of vitaka and vichara.
Okay, I have a question, very basic question. What is definition of Dhamma, Ajahn? Dhamma is what?
Well, basically, Dhamma is the teaching of the Buddha. We're talking right now, we're talking Dhamma. We're talking about the teaching of the Buddha. But Dhamma can also be a generic term, means everything. In Buddhism, when we talk about things, we can say they are Dhamma. All things, all Dhamma, they are all Dhamma. All things, they mean things.
Wipe the floor is Dhamma too?
No. I mean, things like the floor, the people, these are all Dhamma.
How to treat them is the Dhamma too?
No. Dhamma means it's a noun. It means all things, human and non-human. Sometimes we want to talk about things in general. Say all Dhamma. They are all Dhamma. Sabbe Dhamma Anatta. Everything is anatta, no self.
That is Dhamma.
Yeah, but generally we talk about Dhamma. We usually mean the teaching of the Buddha.
Like we should die, we should getting old, we should grow up. That is Dhamma, Ajahn.
The Four Noble Truths, yeah, the truth.
My meditation today is like going down into a well, a place to draw a water. The deeper I go, the pressure gets stronger. But in the strong pressure, there is a calmness. Like swimming into the sea, the deeper I swim, the pressure it gets stronger, but there are no waves. Is that correct, Ajahn?
Please don't ask me this question and ask me if this is correct or not. I don't know. You have to. You find it out yourself. This is part of practice to know what is correct and is not correct. This is wisdom. I cannot tell you everything whether it's correct or not correct, because sometimes I don't understand your question in the first place, so I don't know how to answer it.
Yeah, okay. And sometimes I have a feel when I meditation walking in the dark, because I do this is down at 4:30 a.m. and my mind start to making story like there is a ghost will come soon through this door. I try to fight it, but sometimes this thought appear again. How can I have to throw it away whether forever don't show up again?
It's very hard to hear you. You have some background noise every time you speak. I'm not sure whether it's your microphone or what. So it's very hard to understand what you were saying.
Yeah, when I walk in meditation in the dark, my mind starting to making a story like the ghost will come soon now through this door, and I try to fight it, but sometimes this thought appear again. How can I have to throw it away forever? Don't show up this thought again, Ajahn, about ghosts. Ghosts will come to you like this.
You don't have mindfulness, and you're not sticking to your mantra. If you're sticking to your mantra, then these thoughts cannot come up. And if they come up, if you concentrate on your mantra, then you don't know what these thoughts are about anyway. So try to come back to your mantra. Don't follow your thoughts.
Because every I around that area, there is a door, and this when I look at this door, always comes up the thought. The ghost is standing behind this door, and the ghost will comes out. If I see that door, I always have that thought.
No, you should not pay attention to it. You should come back to your mantra. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let me go to the next person. Darren from Singapore. Darren, is this your first time?
No, Ajahn. Hi, Ajahn. I attended once in the morning, This is my second time.
Okay.
I got no question today. I'm just here to attend the Zoom session.
All right. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Sinyi and Monica Chen from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. How are you today?
Fine. And you?
We're okay.
Okay.
Because we are still waiting for our vaccination.
Vaccination. Okay.
Yeah. No appointment yet.
Okay. No vaccine?
I think our turn is not up yet.
Okay. Any question?
Yeah, Ajahn, when I investigate the body in terms of the elements, I find that my mind is quite accepting, quite neutral. But then when I investigate in terms of that I'm going to lose this body in the future, I see the sadness rising in the mind.
Because you still don't see that you're losing the elements. You still think you're losing the body.
Okay.
So you have to try to look at the body as being elements. They are composed by the elements. They are made from the elements. And once you have to look at when the body dissolves, it's the separation of the four elements. When the body stops breathing, then the air element will vanish first. The wind element will vanish. Then comes the water element will sift out of the body. The heat element comes after the air. The body turns cold. Then follow the water element. And if you leave it for a while, then the body will become dry and eventually turn into dust. We have to look at the dissolution part of the body to see that it's actually the separation of the four elements that's happening at the time when the body dies. There's no you in the body. It's just four elements. Or you can dissect the body parts, put them up, separate them one at a time. First, separate the hair from the body. Ask yourself: is the hair you, or are you the hair? What happens when you throw the hair away? You're still around, right?
Yes.
The nail, the teeth, the skin. You try to separate it one part at a time. Ask yourself each time: is this me? Am I the nail? Am I the teeth? Am I the skin? So forth. And when you go to the rest of the 32 parts, you'll find that there is no you in any of these parts at all. They are just hair, nail, teeth, skin, bone, heart, lungs, intestine. You have to investigate, keep thinking about this thing. Then one day it will click on you and say, oh, there's no me in this body. There's just only the 32 parts. Me, I'm just a thinker. I'm the investigator. I'm the one who's standing in the body, the knower.
Okay. So
you
I
understand? I
have to probe deeper.
Yeah, you have to probe to go deeper. Separate the 32 parts. Like an automobile. When you tear down an automobile, you separate them, right? When all the parts are separated, then the automobile will disappear, right? There's no automobile left except the parts that made up the automobile. Same way with the body. The body is like an organic automobile. Your heart, your lungs are the engines of the automobile. They're just parts. They're just function of the body. Like automobile parts. So you have to tear down the body. Then you can see it clearly that there's no self in the body. And you find that yourself is the one who's tearing down the body, who's separating the body. You're the one who's studying the body, but you're not the body. How can the body study itself, right?
Yeah, actually, because I saw this video where they did the sky burial, where actually the body is being fed, the corpse is being fed to the vultures. And the people are actually skinning the body and feeding to the vultures. So the image keep on popping up. It's on the corpse.
Yeah. This is something you have to investigate all the time before you can see it clearly. Not just once. You might have to do it many, many times until sooner or later one day it will click in your mind. All there is in this body are just the 32 parts. Know me. Who am I? I am the investigator. I cannot find myself in these 32 parts, right? Can you find yourself in your hair, in your teeth, in your bones? So you can summarize or conclude that there's no me in the body. It's like when you lose your key and you think you might have left it in your purse. So what you do, you have to empty your purse out, right? To see whether you have the key inside the purse or not. So when you empty your purse, you find out there's no key, then you know, oh, I didn't put the key in the purse. It's just my understanding, my misunderstanding. The same way, it's our misunderstanding to think that we are in the body, that the body is us. It's just a misunderstanding or delusion. And we need to use investigation, wisdom, to dispel this delusion, this misunderstanding. So you have to separate the body parts one at a time. Pull the hair out, put it away in one place, pull the skin out, pull the nail out, the teeth out, place them in groups, in by themselves. Then you end up looking at the 32 parts of the body. And there's no you in the body. But right now you keep thinking you are in the body, the body is you. But in fact, you're just a thinker, you're not the body. You have to do this to see it for yourself. Even I'm talking to you right now, you still don't see it. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah, the mind clings to the body very strongly.
So you have to break it up. See? Break the body up by tearing like you're breaking up the automobile. See? You separate all the parts of the automobile. Then you won't see there is an automobile when they're just parts.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
It takes a lot of samadhi, a lot of ubekha to do this study, because your mind doesn't have this interest in the first place. It's not the subject that you like to study about. So you need to force it to do it. And in order to force it, you have to have strong mindfulness. Or else your defilement will want to go think about other things. That's why you need to get into samadhi, get ubekha. When you come out, then your mind will have the strength to concentrate on your investigation. Okay? Okay. Next, Joko from Indonesia, right?
Thank you, Ajahn. I have no question for today, Ajahn.
Okay. Then Solin from London.
Hello, Ajahn. Question? No? Question.
I know when my mind gets calm when I am writing mindfully, but after a lot of days not doing it. I was writing so that no other outside retaliations were getting on to me. I did not know what the difference is.
Can you help me with your question, Solly?
And maybe I was just thinking, I just need to be thinking what was occurring to me rather than blaming anything else. Is that right?
Yes, the problem is you, not other things or people. But we don't see the truth. We keep blaming other people or things for our problem. And our problem is our desire, our cravings. If we have no desire, no craving, there will be no problem. The mind will not have any dukkha, have any bad feelings. The mind will always be happy. So try to get rid of your cravings, your desire. Then you won't blame anybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Because you will be always happy. Once you're happy, then you won't blame anybody, because there's no need, there's no sadness to blame on other people. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. I have to skip Claudia because somebody else haven't yet asked the question. So ST, you're next, ST.
Hi, evening, Ajahn. Listening in, no questions. Thank you.
All right. Next is Selva Kuma. Selva Kuma, are you from India?
Yeah, I'm from India. Namaste, Bandiji.
Okay.
I just want to know that practicing Vipassana takes away for mind purification, and it helps to develop our formis. It's very good, but is Vipassana alone enough for final enlightenment, or should we next practice like seeing as seeing? I've seen some traditions with some monks' book written, seeing as seeing, hearing as hearing, thinking as thinking. So this practice should be done when, whether it should be, is it the final practice of pure consciousness, or along with Vipassana we should practice?
Well, this is the goal of all practice, to be able to teach the mind just to let go of everything, just to see and hear and not react to anything, and remain calm and happy all the time. Even in the worst event that can happen, like when you're facing a bullet, you can still just remain calm and merely knowing. That's the goal of the practice. So if you can do it now, if you can do it now, do it. If you cannot, then you need samadhi to help you. You need anicca, dukkha, anatta to help you, to teach your mind to let go and remain calm and not reacting to anything.
Okay. So more than Vipassana, is there any other practice for to attain enlightenment, or Vipassana is enough? Vipassana with the knowledge of anicca wisdom.
See, Vipassana is the last or the highest level of practice. But before you can climb up to Vipassana, you need the support of samadhi, you need the support of the sila, you need the support of dana. So you have to look at yourself and ask yourself, can you do dana? Can you keep the precept? Can you meditate and have samadhi? Then you can then go to Vipassana. Vipassana is to, like what I just mentioned, study the nature of your body, for instance, to see that there's no you in the body. So that whenever anything happens to your body, your mind can remain just merely knowing, not reacting, not being disturbed by whatever happens to your body. Okay, can you use Vipassana right now regarding your body, telling yourself that the body is not you, whatever happens to your body, you can accept it. If you can do that, then you have vipassana already.
So separating the consciousness from body and mind for
From
that
everything,
vipassana is enough.
from everything, separate the mind from everything in this world. Because everything in this world eventually will come to separation from the mind, right?
Okay. So the ultimate goal is to reach Paramatma, which is said in Abhidhamma.
To reach to reach liberation from any form of suffering, from any form of dukkha.
Okay, I have seen a word called Paramatta in Abhidhamma. So, yeah, it's like it's made up of 4 types: Chitta, Chilasittika, and Nibbana.
Yes, these are the result of having let go of everything. Then you will have this thing in your mind. So you don't have to know them really. All you have to know is just to be merely knowing when you come across anything and not reacting to them. I think we lose him. Okay.
So, do you have any other group following to have regular studies? I'm following your Facebook page. Do you have any other WhatsApp group or any other group to have interaction with your regular studies with you?
This is the only group we have here every Tuesday night, and Sunday morning. Sunday around noon, I have a live Q&A in which I read your question that's sent in the commentary box. Read and reply.
Okay. So, if you suggest one good book to study everything together, which one you study? You suggest which book you suggest in Buddhism?
Read the life of the Buddha first, I think. This is the start. From there, once you read the life of the Buddha, then you want to learn more.
So it's written by?
The life of the Buddha. Look for the book, the life about the Buddha. Who he is, what he was, who he was, what he did, and so forth.
Which author you suggest for reading?
I don't know. Any book will be okay about the Buddha. About the Buddha.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Then you get inspiration to learn more.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Joko, Saling, Claudia, Sulan, you're next. Where are you from?
Oh, hello, Ajahn. Suchart. Yeah, I'm from Singapore.
Yes, you have any question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, how can I use Buddhanusati in my practice?
See, Buddhanusati means to use the Buddha as the object of your mindfulness.
Yeah.
If you want to use it all the time, then you recite his name, mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. From the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto to prevent your mind from thinking, to prevent your defilements from arising. Because your defilement can cause you dukkha, can cause you uneasiness, restlessness, and agitation. So you want to prevent this defilement from coming up by keep reciting the mantra Bhutto, Bhutto. If you can do this, your mind will be calm and empty and peaceful. And then when you meditate, you can make your mind to become completely still by reciting the mantra Bhutto, Bhutto.
Okay. Then, is there any Pali word called Achana?
Again, Ajahn.
Yeah, Achana.
How do you spell it?
ACEANA. I think there is a pra Achana in Thailand.
Maybe the name of a monk, right?
Yeah, I'm not very sure.
Okay.
Just wondering, is there such a word?
I'm not sure either because I'm not a Pali scholar, so I cannot answer your question here.
No worries. Yeah.
Is that all? Is that all the question you want to ask?
That's all. Because recently, there's good and that's not good. Yeah. Then so I just want to listen into your Dhamma talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we have covered almost everybody now. So maybe I go to the question from Facebook first before we go to the second round of question. Facebook, please, could you?
Yes, Tanajanka, we have 12 questions this evening. The first question is from Shiva. Dear Ajahn, this is Shiva from India. Question number 1. I've been practicing Vipassana for a while and have been able to get in samadhi, not more than few minutes, but sometimes I meditate and I have a fear of the body getting ill. Then I feel uncomfortable heat on my body. At this time, what should I do? Should I remind myself that the body is not permanent, or shall I sit with the sensation of fear in my body?
I think when you meditate, I think you should not think about anything. You should either focus on your breathing, on your breath, or you can use the focus on your mantra to stop your thinking. Then all your problem will stop temporarily. Your mind then become calm and happy. So when you meditate, you want to calm your mind. You want to stop your thoughts. So don't think. Don't talk to yourself. Okay, just concentrate on your breath or on your mantra. This is the purpose of meditation, to still your mind, to make your mind happy.
Second question from Shiva is contemplation done while sitting in meditation?
Normally, no. Normally, when you meditate, you want to stop your mind, still your mind. So you don't want to think or contemplate. Because when you contemplate, then this will run counter to your purpose of meditation. The purpose of meditation is to stop your mind from thinking. You should do contemplation after you come out of your meditation.
The next question is from Pauline Soon, and he has 2 questions. The first question is, what is the meaning of upekkha when in meditation?
Upekkha is a state of mind in which there is no love, hate, fear, or delusion appearing at that time, because the mind becomes still. So all action in the mind will stop, including this love, hate, fear, and delusion. But it's a temporary state. After you come out of meditation, then this upekkha will gradually disappear.
The next question from Pauline Soon. My progress on meditation is that my mind can stay and concentrate on the mindfulness that I achieve. And I keep my breathing going on to prolong my sitting. Is this progress correct?
As long as you can continue meditating, you are going in the right direction. But the goal is to make the mind become still and have upekkha and happiness from upekkha.
The next question is from Xiao Sang. Dear Ajahn, I am trying a method to observe my breath during meditation, observing and thinking every of my breath in and breath out, and maybe my last breath, out my last breath. It makes me more alert and that I can concentrate. Can this be used whenever I meditate?
Well, you have to try it and see what result you get from it. If your mind can become calm and still, then it's good. If you cannot calm your mind and make it still, then it's not good. Not good enough anyway.
The next question is from Wei Sheng Shua. Question number 1. Why consciousness does not leave the body when alive but only dead?
Well, consciousness is connected to the body until the body die. Then the consciousness will then be withdrawn from the body, returning to the mind.
Can one who has done little or no merit become deva or achieve arahanthood through meditation and mindfulness?
Can you repeat the question again?
Can one who has done a little or no merit become a deva or achieve arahanthood through meditation and mindfulness?
If you meditate and mindfulness, you can make your mind become a Brahma. Because when you get jhana, that's when the mind turns into a Brahma. In order to be a deva, you have to make merit. You have to do charity. You have to give. And if you want to become enlightened, you need to have vipassana or wisdom.
The next question. When unwholesome thought or desires arises, should we let it pass without interacting with them, or should we use mindfulness to block them from arising?
Well, the first step is to control them by stopping them. But as soon with a mantra or with mindfulness, once you can control them, then they will not arise. If they arise, then you want to use wisdom to teach the mind that to have unwholesome thought is harmful to the mind because it can generate dukkha. So once the mind sees the harm in the unwholesome thought with wisdom, then it will not think unwholesome thought anymore.
Question is from Eli Hassan. Learn, practice, then be a teacher to teach Dhamma, not performing ritual. Ajahn, does this mean avoid asking monks for blessing?
Yes, monk cannot bless you. It's just a fallacy. It's a misunderstanding. What monk chant is really their congratulation on your good deeds, or telling you the result that you get from doing good. That's all. But the monk themselves cannot give you any blessing. You are the one who have to bless yourself by doing good karma.
The next question is from John Nathan. Ajahn, I would be grateful if you could kindly advise me how to overcome lust. I have determined to be celibate all my life. I practice meditation every day. However, once a month, a strong feeling of lust gradually develops in me. With this, images that I've seen in the past gradually appear in my mind. So I get strong urge to see these images again, and it's very hard to resist. I've started meditation on 32 parts, and this helps me. However, I still find lust irresistible. Could you please give me an advice about how to deal with this? Thank you.
Well, you have to see the harm in having lust, because when you have lust, your mind become restless, agitated, sad, or lonely. You feel bad. You feel the blue when you cannot get what your lust asked you to do. So you have to see the harmfulness of your lust. Then you might want to curtail them or to eliminate them. In order to do this, you need to concentrate on developing these asubha images in your mind, so that anytime you start to think of beautiful objects, then you should counter them with this unpleasant, not good looking objects of the body. If you can do this, then eventually your lust will disappear permanently.
The next question is from Long Yu Meng. Can Ajahn guide and advise what one should do if nimitta comes again and again during meditation, even when one goes back to the object of meditation, for example, anapanasati? Thank you, Ajahn.
Just ignore them. Just keep concentrating on your mind, your meditation object. Eventually, when your mind becomes calmer and calmer, then these nimittas will fade away, will disappear. If they appear, don't pay attention to them. Don't try to drive them away, force them away. Don't have anything to do with them. Just keep concentrating on your meditation object. When the mind becomes calmer, these other nimittas will gradually disappear of themselves.
And the last question is from George Lim. Dear Ajahn, we have reached the end of an eon and everything in the universe disappears. I'm sorry, when we have reached the end of an eon and everything in the universe disappears, together with the hell, animal, ghost, human, and deva realms. Beginning of the next eon, does it mean that everything starts afresh with zero karma for all minds and beings, or does it still carry the previous karma with it? Does the next eon start afresh with neutral karma for all?
Now we're talking about two separate worlds. The world that the body lives in, we call the physical world. This one day will come to an end. But there's another world we call the spiritual world, which doesn't end with the physical world. They are two separate they are in different dimensions. The spiritual world is forever, never comes to an end. So all beings exist in the spiritual world. So they will continue on to reap the fruit of the karma. If they did bad karma, they will have the spirit will be experiencing a lot of suffering. If they did good karma, then the spirit will be experiencing a lot of happiness. So this continue on regardless of what happened to the physical world that the body exists in. So the law of karma and everything can continue on as if there's no place for the mind to connect to the body, it still exists in the spiritual world. Is that all the question from Facebook? Okay. We'll go to the second round. I think William hasn't yet been asked the question. Do you have any question, William?
Bhante, if you give me a few minutes, I'll come back if I could.
Okay. All right. Gary, you're next. Do you have any question, Gary? You have to unmute your microphone.
Ajahn, no questions tonight. Just want to listen in.
All right. All right, then it's time for anybody to ask any question. If you want to ask a question, just raise your hand and unmute your microphone. Anybody? You see anybody who wants to ask any question?
Darren.
Hi, Ajahn. I have a question because just now Ajahn was saying that when one want to contemplate, one should be out of meditation. Then, if that's the case, how should one do the contemplation? Is it sitting at one spot and then contemplate on any of the kammatthana that the Buddha recommend, or is it that one should contemplate while doing our daily activities? Thank you.
Well, if you do your activity, sometimes it's not easy to contemplate, to investigate. So you need to be either not doing anything, either walking, standing, or sitting, but not doing any other work. Then you can then concentrate on your contemplation 100%. But if you have to do some work, and if you contemplate on the work that you do, that's okay. If you contemplate on the work that you do is anicca, it's not permanent, and this is okay. So there are many different modes of contemplation, depending on what you want to contemplate on or investigate. Okay. Like if you want to investigate the 32 parts of the body, then you cannot do other things at the same time.
Okay, Ajahn. So it's similar to meditation. We just sit at a quiet area to do the contemplation in a way.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to contemplate on the painful feeling, you have to sit and make the painful feeling arise, and then study the nature of painful feeling.
Okay, understand. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
Okay. Yannasangwararam.
Hello, Tanajan.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, just want to say that I had this moment in my practice where I realized that life is really dukkha, but that I was trying to run away from that realization. And like at that moment, all of a sudden, like all the defilements came back and kind of flooded that realization, and like all the attachments, all the desires, like, you know, like how to say, like I still have all these desires and things like I want to hold on to, but at the same time, my mind, after a good concentration session, after I come out of it, it starts to discern all this Dhamma just by itself. And it came to the realization, like life is really suffering, but we try to run away from it. So is that like a sign of progress in the practice? And is there something I should do to progress more?
It's like a flash of light you see in the dark.
Yes.
So what you want to do is you want to extend that flashlight to become a permanent light. I keep reminding yourself that life is suffering all the time.
Your voice is not very clear right now.
I know, but I have rain right now, so it's quite noisy around me.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
So that's a flashlight, like a flashlight that will make you able to see things in the dark. But it's only briefly. So what you want to do, you want to extend the length of that light to last longer by thinking about this constantly and continually. Life is suffering. Life is aging, sickness, and death. Keep thinking like this. Then you will then maintain this wisdom or this insight until it becomes overwhelming that can get rid of your cravings for things. Because whatever you get, you're gonna have to lose it anyway. So you have to continue on with your contemplation. Life is suffering. Don't let it disappear from your mind. Remind yourself all the time. As soon as you want to go out for some pleasure, you say, this is suffering. Because it's temporary. After a while, when you will lose it, and then when you don't have it, then the suffering comes back again. So it's better to let go of life and live without anything. There will be no suffering.
We should keep like reducing the desire or pleasurable things in our life, and just up until we reach a point of we're just only getting a pleasure from meditation. That's all.
Right.
But should I also continue like with the to strengthen the samadhi?
Yes, this is samadhi is your source of happiness.
Okay.
So you want to have happiness from samadhi rather than have happiness from the desire of things.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanajan.
Now you have a good start. You see the light now, but it's briefly. So you don't want it to disappear from the mind. So you have to keep constantly reminding yourself of this fact. Life is suffering because it's impermanent.
It just so amazing because it came like, even I wasn't trying, but when I come out of the samadhi practice, then just, you know, like my mind wants to discern the Dhamma. It's like my favorite part of the practice, because I like samadhi is very difficult for me. So like I just find my mind just goes to the vipassana practice naturally by itself.
I think it's a combination of all the things that you have done of the practicing. The studying of the Dhamma teaching, the practice of mindfulness, the practice of samadhi, the contemplation. When suddenly they all come together and give you a brief glimpse of what the truth is, then life is something. So you should keep continuing doing what you used to do. Study more, practice more, resist your defilement more. Then you'll begin to see more of it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Thank you.
Anybody else would like to ask a question?
Joko.
Joko?
Joko.
Thank you, Ajahn. I want to ask a question, Ajahn. So, I read Luang Pu Cha book. Inside of the book, there is a story he told. So, when we
You have to speak louder because it's very noisy in my room right now. I cannot maximum volume.
Yeah. Okay. I'll set it. Is it louder, Ajahn?
Yeah.
Okay. So inside the book, there's a story he told. When we walk in a darkness in the forest, and then when we
Closer, microphone closer to your mouth. Put the microphone close to your mouth.
Sorry. Yeah. And then sometimes we don't know what we walk. And then
speak louder.
Speak louder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we sometimes don't know whether we see a snake or a rope in the darkness. In the story told, it's just like in our life. Sometimes we often led by our thought. So we think that it is a snake, and then we feel frightened, but actually it's just a rope. And I want to ask a question: how to respond to the things we face in our life? Because sometimes, like the story told by Luang Pu Cha in the book, we are often led by our thought. Yeah.
Yeah, often what?
Led by our thought, our own thought.
Thought. Yes,
our own thought. Sorry, our own thought. Yes.
I don't understand what you mean by on.
So in the book, the story told us when we walk in the darkness, we sometimes, because of the dark, we cannot see whether there is a thing. Is it a snake or a rope? Before we notice that, we think that it's a snake, so we feel frightened, but actually it is a rope. So it's actually similar to the things we face in our life. And my question is how to respond to the thing in our life, because sometimes, most of the time, we are led by our own thought.
You rely by your thought. You will be deceived by your thought. So you have to use the wisdom of the Buddha to counter it. The Buddha said everything is dukkha, everything is bad for you. To have a wife is bad for you. To have a family is bad for you. To have money is bad for you. Everything in this world is bad for you because they are impermanent. Because one day you will lose them all. So you have to think like this.
So should we just respond it in neutral way, Ajahn? Like when we got happiness and then we just think, oh, this is anicca, and then
it will disappear and then return into dukkha.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything is bad for you because it will change, it will disappear. So it's better not to have anything, not to get close to the snake.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with the snake.
Yeah, we thought that
Even though it might appear like a rope, but it's not a
Yeah.
rope, it's a snake.
Yes,
Once you touch the rope, it bites you.
it's the story in Luang Pucha book,
Yeah.
Ajahn. Yeah.
So let's see everything as an anicca, then you don't want to have anything to do with it. Right?
Right, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ Ajahn.
Welcome. Then sure. You and you microphone.
Yes, good evening, Ajahn. Again, my question is about 5 hindrances. The way I see the 5 hindrances is the sense and pleasure, physical plane, and the rest are mental plane. So can sense? So I don't see sense and pleasure in the mental plane. So how can sense and pleasure become a hindrance in our meditation, or how does it appear? Because I treat my body as a second class citizen, so it doesn't seem to appear like a lot of sense and pleasure. So I thought it's only physical plane. Am I wrong in that?
No, your sensual pleasure is your desire for the sensual object. Like you want to watch a movie instead of meditating. You want to watch football or watch golf or whatever. This will then interfere with your meditation. If you have desire for this thing, then you cannot meditate.
Okay. So it seems like it's quite easy to suppress these thoughts, right? Because as long as there's no one in place.
Theoretically, you sound easy, but in real life, it's not the thought itself. Sometimes it's your friend who asks you, you want to come and join us? You want to go here and there with me? These are our sensual pleasure. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Okay, Ken. All right.
If you're alone by yourself in the forest, then there won't be any problem. That's why monk has to go live in the forest to prevent this sensual pleasure problem to arise. Okay. Because there's no movie to see, no music to listen to, no party to go.
Because the other day, I think the other session you were talking about food, mixing the food and all those. I think the lady Pasana said. So I stopped choosing my food. I thought that was the first step of trying to become too willful in my desire. So I stopped choosing food.
That's only one small aspect of your sensual pleasure.
Yeah, trying.
You have hundreds more that you have to get rid of.
Understand. Okay, then. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry if I have to shout. Sound like I'm shouting because my room right now is very noisy with the rain, and it's very hard for me to hear what you say. Anybody else would like to ask any more questions? Nobody?
There is additional from Facebook, 2 questions.
Go ahead.
First question is from Pauline Soon. I had a very good Dhamma friend that bring me seriously to the path of Buddhism. Is there a connection between him and me in the previous life?
No need to know that. It's waste of time. Concentrate on what you have to do.
The next question is from Sulan, who is in our chat room. She wanted to ask if Pra Achana Buddha image at Wat Si Chum Temple of the Bodhi tree is the same as our Buddha Gautama.
All the Buddha images are just a replica of the Gautama Buddha, or whatever Buddha the builder of that image wants to represent. That's all. It's not important.
And the last question is from George Lim. Can new units of mind come into existence in the universe?
No. Mind is forever, never created nor destroyed. The mind is forever. So there's a fixed amount of mind in the spiritual world. The only difference is whether they are enlightened mind or deluded mind. Okay. Anybody else? Maybe it's time for EV again. Okay, EV, I'm not sure if I can understand your question or not.
I want to learn about Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Like, for the example, when I know people are telling me that I am bad, then my heart starts to feel sad, annoyed. Who is responsible for this? Is Vijnana, Sanya, or Sankhara, or Vedana, Ajahn?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Your voice, your sound is so very distorted, so I'm sorry, I have to skip your question.
Is that clear now, Ajahn?
Sometimes, and sometimes you still have this background noise every time you speak. I'm not sure what's wrong with your microphone. Okay.
Is that clear now, Ajahn?
Okay.
Okay.
Not clear, but
I want to learn about Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara in my daily life and Vijnana. In my daily life, I want to know these four things in my daily life. Like, for example, when people told that I am bad, so that my heart start to feel sad, annoyed. Who is responsible for this, Ajahn? Is Vedana, Sanya, or Sankhara, or Vijnana?
no, it's your defilement, your desire that makes you feel bad.
Then when I am preparing a business plan or strategy, who is in charge here? Is Sanya, Vedana, Sankhara, or Vijnana, Ajahn?
They all work together. But every time you're saying all four work together. Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. They all go together. They work as a team. Vijnana is to think about the images or the essential object. Receiving the central object into the mind, bringing the central objects into the mind. It's a function of Vijnana. And recognizing this central object is the function of Sanya. And thinking, planning about things is a function of Sankhara. Having feeling about this thing is Vedana.
No, it means that these four things cannot be separate. They are united. They are always united. Yeah,
they're like an orchestra. They go together.
They always work together and
they
cannot
work
be separate.
Together. Not except when you go into jhana, then they all stop working temporarily. Okay? All right. William, you want to ask any question because I'm about to end this meeting already. Any question, William?
I just wonder if you can become disconnected from the Buddha, Bhante.
Can you become disconnected from the Buddha?
Yes, Bhante.
Well, you're not connected in the first place. How can you be disconnected? If you're connected to the Buddha, it means you're enlightened. See? When we're not enlightened, we are disconnected from the Buddha. The Buddha that we are connected to is just a theoretical Buddha, not the real Buddha. Okay.
What's the real Buddha then?
The Dhamma that you see inside your mind, the Four Noble Truths in real time.
And can you become disconnected from that, Bhante?
No, not once you're connected, you will never be disconnected. Once you become a noble disciple, you are forever a noble disciple. You cannot return to be an ordinary being anymore. So that's a good thing about practice. Once you get to that level, you won't lose what you gain. So just keep practice Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. This is the way to be connected to the Buddha. All right? I think it's about time for us to end this meeting. Anybody? Okay, no more questions for tonight. Thank you very much for your attendance. Enjoy talking to you all. I hope you benefit from this conversation and inspire you to do more practice. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing mindfulness and wisdom. Until next time, goodbye to you all.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks,
Thank you,
Ajahn.
Ajahn.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Admin. Thanks,
admin.
Kunjuk.
Thank you, admin.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Kunjuk.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Kunamin. Thank you, Kunju.